So let's start with the cheapest and simplest way to transfer an image. You need some tracing paper, and what you do is you just lay it over your image and trace out whatever it is that you want to paint. Then what you do is you flip that image over and you take a really soft graphite pencil. The B series has the softest lead, and then you go over all the lines and you just make sure that you get plenty of graphite down. Cover all the lines, and then what you do is you flip it back over the other way. You get your piece of watercolor paper, you lay it down, and I always suggest do the original tracing with one color pen and then go back and do the tracing onto the paper, transferring that image with another color so that you can see exactly what lines you've gone over. And then you just go back over those lines again, and it transfers it onto your watercolor paper. So this is probably the easiest way and the cheapest way to transfer an image. And I should say too that if you want to get that image printed out in a larger size, it's nothing anymore to go to your local UPS store or Kinko's and just ask them to print it out bigger on their wider format printers. So that's the easiest and the cheapest method. The next way to transfer your image is to get some graphite transfer paper. So this brand is Master's Touch and it's wax free. The thing I like about this brand, and it could be that there's other brands that you can do this with, but this particular brand you can put right in your printer and you can print out the image on one side, on the white side, and then you just lay it right over your watercolor paper and you go ahead, start tracing out, and look at that. You got a really nice clear image on your watercolor paper. So these are the two methods that are probably the cheapest and the easiest. So now I'm going to go over some methods that are a little bit pricier, but they really are a step up in getting a lot of detail into your drawing. So the first one I want to talk about, and all I have is a picture of this that I'm showing you, but it's pretty reasonable. It runs about $120 if it's on sale, and it's called the Lucy Drawing Tool. And I've heard some really great reviews about it. You know, basically it's just a new way of looking at how artists in the past tried to find ways to transfer images, whether it was the camera obscura or the camera lucida. And I think that's why they call it the Lucy. So as you can see, you look through it and it will project your image, and then you just, lay it down on your watercolor paper. Or you can put a photograph in it and you can copy right from the photograph. So that's one way that you can, for a relatively less expensive price, get that image onto your paper. What I used to use was an Artograph analog projector. Those can get pretty pricey, and the image I'm showing you right now runs around $200, maybe a little bit more depending on if it's on sale. And all you do is you put your photograph on the top glass and you can project it down onto your table or onto a wall. And I did that for a lot of years. There's also another brand, and I'm going to show you that here, and that's the Copy Cake. That one is a little bit cheaper than the Artograph. That one runs about $120. So it's pretty comparable to the Lucy Drawing Tool. And same thing, it clamps onto your table and you can project it right onto your paper and then, transfer away. What I use is an Artograph digital projector. This little guy was a game changer for me. You can plug in your little flash drive in the back and it will project the image digitally onto a surface, and you can get pretty big, has all kinds of grids, which I never use. But I love this thing. I don't know what I would do without this. I can very quickly get my image down, and I don't spend days anymore transferring my image. The problem is that last year, Artegraph sold out to another company. The new company is no longer making the digital projectors. They're still making the analog projectors, but they just aren't making the digital ones. So the company that manufactured the digital projector for Artegraph is LG. And LG is still making the projector. The only difference between what LG is now manufacturing and what they made for Artegraph is there aren't all the little extra artist tools on there. But honestly, I've never really used any of those parts of it. So this is running about $350 right now. And you can get it, from any electronic supply place, and even Cheap Joe's Art Supply is still carrying these. It is pricey, but for me, it was worth every penny. Obviously, because I'm a professional artist, it was worth the investment. And so if you do paint for a living or you plan on it, that might be a good investment for you to make. When I got this digital projector, I also got this nifty little tabletop stand, and it expands pretty far. It goes up far enough that I can actually project an image onto my 18 by 24 paper size that I do my paintings with. But there are various tabletop stands that you can buy, and then they just hook right into the back of your digital projectors. So this is what I like to use. Hello everybody. I've been asked by a few people if I would do a short tutorial on how digital projectors work. So the digital projector that I have was made by Artegraph, and as of last year, Artegraph sold out to another company. The new company is still manufacturing other Artegraph products, but they're no longer manufacturing the digital projectors. The company that was making the digital projectors for Artegraph was LG, and LG is now making these digital projectors under their name, and you can get them from Cheap Joe's Art Supply. So my digital projector comes with a power supply cord and an internal battery that lasts approximately 4 hours, and it also comes with a remote control. On the back of the projector, I have a spot where you can put a flash drive with your images on it, and you just pop it right in there. So there are a couple of different ways you can use your projector. You can just set it on a table and project it onto a wall. You can use a tripod and project it that way, or you can use a tabletop stand, which is what I have. At the time, Artegraph was making these nifty little tabletop stands. Mine happens to bolt right to my table, and I can extend the poles up as high as I need to go. They go up pretty high. I've also seen stands where they are just right, you can put them right on your table. So now let me show you how it hooks to my table stand. Just has a little hole in the back, and I just screw it right to the projector, tighten it up, and then it will project down onto my tabletop. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn off my lights so that you can see how well it projects onto my tabletop. So here I have selected an image that I want to transfer, and I just make sure my paper's taped down so it doesn't move, and then you just go around and trace out whatever it is that you want included in your painting. And that's it. That's a digital projector.